The foundation really was the brainchild of Jim Morse and Judy Fry. Jim was a real visionary, and Judy had all kinds of leadership skills and was a solution creator, and together they worked beautifully together.
So Judy Fry approached me on starting this idea of a foundation for the schools, and at the time this was a new concept. There was one other school district in Michigan that I think had a foundation.
Well, actually, it was because we wanted to be very strategic in our planning, looking ahead as to how to, where the schools were going to go. So several of us took a trip to California to look at some schools that were really, looking for more forward ahead. And we've got involved with the fact that they had Proposition C out there, which was a bill that was limiting the number of tax dollars you could put on your community people. And we saw this as a trend that was going to come across the country. So when we came back, we thought, let's get ahead of it. And so we talked about starting a foundation.
For people who remember that far back, education was perking along pretty well, and it was reasonably financed, especially in East Grand Rapids. So this was putting a perk on top of an already first-class school system, but everybody felt, anything we can do to advance these kids and give them a head start, we're willing to try.
Well, when you always rely on public education money, who knows what's going to happen in the future? And as it all developed, they used this as the way to enhance teachers and give them chances to add to their curriculum, and also which would improve all of the education in our kids. And this is something that probably would not ever have happened here if we didn't do this foundation.
We launched the foundation. I think we started out trying to find some initial donors, and as one of the donors said to me, it's the first time I've given money to anything and not knowing exactly what you're going to do with it. Of course, it helps if that donor is your father.
Initially, we just went and asked people for money. I think the first check that I wrote, Jim Morris and I were sitting in the basketball field house, and Jim said, well, are you ready to write a check? And I said, here it is.
The goal for the first year was to raise about $100,000. And we raised just a little bit over that, but we had designed a 5-year commitment pledge concept and hoped to raise $500,000 in the 5 years. And I believe we raised that also.
We wanted a benefit where academic programs could be enhanced, and that was really kind of our focus at that point.
Well, the original goal was to create money so that we didn't have to drop programs such as the foreign language, band, athletics, all of those things. And so that was the main purpose, was to create an endowment so that it would be there forever.
The reason we wanted to have an endowment base is that if there were lean times or times when people were not able to support it as much, we would still be able to meet the mission.
I feel very blessed to work in a community where the schools are a main part of a successful community, and the foundation plays a key role in that. They are incredible advocates for public education, and their partnership with the school system is reflected in their membership on the board. That, to me, truly reflects their true commitment to public education, and in this case, East Grand Rapids Public Schools.
It's been fun to see the success of the foundation, the number of grants that they're able to make. They're doing so much more than we were able to do 30 years ago.
Well, the success that the foundation has had over the years is that it's grown its endowment from nothing to 2.7, I believe, right now. So that's a significant thing. But also the fact that we've had a significant board members all along the way. We created eventually term limits so there was a good turnover, and it became really a privilege to serve on the foundation board. And I think that has helped in raising the money and keeping us right up there as a top school.
East Grand Rapids schools have always stood for excellence. I think everyone in the community understands that, knows that. I think it's, as funding dries up from public sources and so on, it's imperative that we continue to raise funds for our schools so that we can do some things that might not normally be able to be done.
I'm a real believer what makes our community, it's a combination of the city and the schools working together and the people who live here. And the people who come here care about their kids, they care about the education, and we all work together as a great team, and it keeps on continuing. And as long as it does, this city will always be a hot spot, and it is today.
There is a sense of community in this city that's added to by a whole bunch of different constituencies. But certainly the school is at the center of it. And I think most people know that a lot of people that went to school here came back here. And people come back to places because they've had a good experience. And that's, I think, what brings people back to East Grand Rapids.